am a Canadian, and we have some of our Canadian friends here. Anyways, I've been here for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, and I was reminded that I was actually asked and reminded that I was a Canadian just a couple of days ago. I was at a restaurant 2 days ago having dinner, and when I finished my meal, the waitress had come up to me as I was leaving the restaurant, and she said, by any chance, are you a Canadian? I said, yes, I am. She said, well, do you know the difference between a Canadian and a canoe? A canoe is one of those little boats that they have up in Canada. Canoe, Canadian and a canoe. And I said, I really don't know. And she says, well, canoes tip. When you take a look yourself, if you're looking at a brand new startup company, brand new ground floor opportunity in the industry, and you hear about this all the time. There's several that are going on right now. There'll be new companies starting up tomorrow. There'll be new companies starting up next week, next month. In this industry, no different than any other private sector that in the private sector today, 90 to 95% of all companies that get started off in this industry don't make it to their second-year anniversary. That's a fact. So when someone looks at a ground floor opportunity and tries to pitch you on a ground floor opportunity, there's 2 things that you've got to concern yourself with. Number 1, is that program going to be around in 2 to 3 years? Number 2, are you going to be around in 2 to 3 years? I think that you'd want to take a look at, and I'm going to cover, I guess, 4 areas that I really want to talk to you about, and then get into some other things that you want to focus on long-term in the business. And it's kind of under the umbrella of what you want to be looking at and taking yourself long-term. First thing that you've got to do, and please take notes on this, it's already been talked about, you've heard it so many times, but this is something, and I didn't get into this until I got involved in the industry and I understood the strength of it. You've heard it so many times, but write down your goals. So number 1 is your goals. Visualize your goals. You're a mirror image of your consistent thoughts. You're a mirror image of your consistent thoughts. Write down your short-term goals, your long-term goals. And what goals would you set if you knew you wouldn't fail? What goals would you set if you knew you wouldn't fail? Because the long-term goals will overcome the short-term frustrations. Long-term goals will overcome short-term frustrations. Is there anything more important than goals? Maybe. And that's this. Number 3, your activity goals. It's great to have a vision and have your goals written out, planned out. Where do you want to be long-term? Where do you want to be short-term? But what are you going to do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis to attain those goals? So it's your activity goals, not the number of people that you've signed up, not the number of products that you've sold, but the number of products that you've demonstrated and the number of people that you've talked to. So if you know that you've got a closing ratio of 30 or 40 or 50% or 10% in closing people or closing someone on the sale or the opportunity, you know how many people you need to talk to before you sign up X amount of people to get to your short-term and your long-term goals. Activity goals are critical. Number 2, by the way, just in understanding goals, and I just wanted to finish maybe a little bit with your goals. A lot of people have asked me, Dan, you know, how do you increase your success? How do you increase your success in this business? Double your failure rate. Double your failure rate. You'll get a little bit better every day at what you do in this business if you're into activity, and it's activity knowledge. And this is something that I wasn't aware of when I got involved in the business. I just thought I had to be, you know, a diamond right off the bat, but every diamond started as a Q1, Q2, executive, senior executive, working their way up, doing those little things all the time and getting themselves to that long-term goal. You take a look in this business, like, if you take a look in private ownership today and you screw up, if you go into private business today and you screw up, what happens? You go bankrupt. If you screw up in corporate America today, what happens? If you screw up in quorum, what happens? You go diamond. I'm living proof of it. You have no idea how many times I've screwed up in this business. Number 2, understand long-term in this business that there's a huge price to pay. There's a huge price to pay. in going diamond. But is there a huge price to pay in anything else that you do out there? If you want to attain what you want in terms of your dreams and your goals? What if you want to become a professional of any kind? Take a look at some facts that was shared with me in Canada. This was at the end of 1992. Stats Can released this. You know, you take a look at the military today, and if you want to go into the military, you go into accounting, over 85% of the people that enter the military don't get promoted. Over 85% of the people that enter accounting don't become CAs. 96% of the people that go into pre-med do not become physicians. In real estate and life insurance, 95% of the people that enter that industry a year later are out. By the end of 1992, just in that year in corporate America, 37% of all North American executives either lost their job, position, title, or had a decrease in pay. That is a fact. Excuse me. You go into private business today. Take a look at the last 5 years and what's happening in private ownership, private business in America today. It's a fact. You go into business for yourself, within 3 years, 90% are what? Out. They're gone. Bankrupt. And the 10% that succeed take how long? How long is it before they're profitable? 5 years before they're turning a profit. Now, even after 5 years and they're now turning a profit, can they walk away from the business? Do they own the business? Does the business own them? So in understanding the price that you need to pay, what if you go into the professional arena? Take a look at this. End of 1992, Stats Can released this. The top 5 paying professions in Canada. In 1992, what were they? Physicians, dentists, lawyers, engineers, architects. What was their average income? 122, 98, 96, 56, and 54,000. Average income. Now, did they get to that average income their first year out of school? After 6, 7, 8, and 9 years of education. Do you know how long it took them to get to that average income? It's a fact. 15 years. There's a price to pay no matter where you go, what you do, relationships, business, quorum, it doesn't matter. The average diamond in our program has attained that position in less than 2 years. It's a fact. That is the kind of opportunity that you have long term. 3, basics. You want to go long term in this business, you need to stick to the basics. You need to master the basics. And if you want absolutely spectacular results in your business, you need to master the basics over a consistent period of time. Master the basics over a consistent period of time. What are some of the basics? Here are just some of the things that I do, just kind of under my umbrella of where I'm going, what I'm doing, and my focus daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, what I do. Just 7 simple basics that I'm doing over and over and over again. I'll share with you. Number 1, sell 1 product a week. Sell 1 product a week. This is what I'm doing. 2, sponsor 1 Q1 a month. Sponsor 1 Q1 a month and teach them to do the same thing. And teach them to do the same thing. Number 3, attend 1 briefing a week. 1 briefing a week. And teach your people to do the same thing. Number 4, do 1 home briefing a week. This business is driven from the home. The home-based business is growing out of control, but if you take a look at the running giants that we have in this industry, you take a look at the top 2, they both begin with A, you know the companies, these are all billion-dollar-a-year companies. Where is all their business done? Where is it driven? From the home. Why? Because it's so duplicatable. 1 home briefing a week, and teach your people to do the same thing. Number